League of Cinephiles. I'm your host, Alex Helmer, bringing you more cinema-related competition. Today, we have another CINEMAWARS debate episode. With me today, joining me is the great Ryan Cam. We are going to have three amazing competitors who are going to be debating the prompt, what is the best Jordan Peele movie? Now, Ryan, Jordan Peele is one of the most prolific filmmakers working today, a guy who's only made 3 features.
Unlike most directors, say, let's just say Stanley Kubrick, for example, he's one of my favorites. It wasn't until like his 4th or 5th movie that he was like, oh, this is the Stanley Kubrick that we know. Jordan Peele is he was great from movie number 1, and he has carried that momentum on throughout.
Ryan, let's not waste any time. Let's get to the 3 competitors. Each of the 3 will be arguing on behalf of one of Jordan Peele's movies. First, representing the Wolfpack, you know him, you love him. It's the Quick Critic.
Hey everybody, glad to be here.
QC, how are you feeling? You've been here since season 1 of the league. You're making your season 3 debut. How are you feeling with being in this match, being in the season 3, and just arguing about Jordan Peele movies?
I'm feeling really good about it. I have a lot of respect for Jordan Peele, and I think, he's done an amazing job.
Making her League of Cinephiles debut from Stygian Films, it's Manya.
Hello.
How are you doing, Manya? You are a newbie to season 3. This is your first match.
I sure am.
And how are you doing? And how are you feeling to debut in the league with, Jordan Peele as the center of attention?
I am doing great, and I am super excited for this because I do love Jordan Peele. I don't think he has a miss with anything he touches.
Representing the Cinephiles in Paradise, an OG member of the league, is, of course, the great Dev the Conqueror staff. You're a man on a mission, obviously, and you decide to be in this match. Does that say a lot about your love for Jordan Peele?
I mean, I think that's just speaks on how I am with any of these matches. I'm always ready. I'll take you guys down anytime, anywhere, even if I'm hungover and driving home an hour. So let's do this.
There will be 3 rounds, the opening statement, the rebuttals, and the closing statement. There will be a cinema-related prompt. In this case, what is the best Jordan Peele movie? A wheel will be spun to determine who will pick their answer first. Competitors will argue on behalf of their answer and debate against the other competitors. The judges will then grade the competitor out of 5 points for each round. The competitor with the most points at the end of each match will be declared the winner.
So let's see who will get to pick their answer first. And again, the spin again slice I did not pick for this wheel. It just happens to be there.
Looking at Manya.
And Manya will get started. Manya, 60 seconds on the clock. Your opening statement as well as your answer.
Oh my god, okay, you're gonna just put me on the spot like that. I am gonna actually go with Nope, and that's because I think this was the first movie by Jordan Peele that was different from the other ones. It didn't have a social commentary on the nose like the other ones. I love that it was the first horror movie ever to be shot fully on IMAX, and on top of that, I loved the cinematography. There was no question there. I love how hilarious it was. Characters were, in my opinion, super likable. There wasn't a single character I did not like in the movie. And trying to think. Truly, there were a lot of moments in there that were unsettling, and I think that was something that the other movies lacked, even though they were also horror movies. This one was the first time in a Jordan Peele movie that there were scenes that I truly felt like I was uncomfortable, and there was a certain brutal scene in the opening that I thought was very well done as well.
All right, so let's see who will go next. QC, 60 seconds.
Right on. So, I think Get Out is Jordan Peele's best film. It's really, I think, undoubtedly a top 10 film of the past decade as far as the horror thriller genre. And you can make a case based on critical consensus that it's a top 10 film of any kind from the last 10 years. And, it's entered the cultural zeitgeist. You're not going to find anybody who thinks that, or I've never met anybody who doesn't like Get Out. There are some people who think it's a little bit overrated, and I can understand that. But, it's very rare that you find a film that has that much consensus, both amongst critics and amongst regular people, right? And, as I say with Get Out, you don't simply forget the film. You watch the film and it just kind of sears itself into your mind. And, it has commentary on, race and on, the dangers of whack job science. And it really just drives it home to the point where anybody who watches the film walks out and they immediately are like, wow, that was one of the best films I've ever seen.
Dev, let's go to you last, defending Us. You have no choice. You have to do it. But let's see how you do. 60 seconds.
All right. Well, first of all, I do have a choice, and my choice is Us. It is one of Jordan Peele's, and just in terms of the horror genre overall, it's one of the most unique movies to come out. You know, the villains in that movie are more iconic. Like, Get Out is awesome. It has some great social commentary, but like, I don't remember the villains as vividly as I do for Us with those cheers. It has a lot of unique style, blending different, you know, classic 90s hip hop with horror in a way that works. And there just aren't movies like Get Out. It's so disturbing. It's one of the most consistently paced out of all of Peele's movies. And it's just one of those where from start to finish, I'm unsettled. And, you know, Get Out and Nope, they have their kind of tongue-in-cheek moments, whereas I feel even in the fun moments of Us, it's still disturbing.
You know, we have 2 judges in the back. Ryan is not one of them, so he's fresh to the scores that have been tabulated. For Dev and QC, we thought the first half of your arguments were a bit weak, but then the second half, you guys started to come around with your more specific pieces of evidence. Dev with his piece on the hip-hop connection with Us, and then QC as well with the commentary that Get Out displays. And then Manya, kind of the opposite, where we thought our first half of the argument was strong, and then second half kind of dimmered down a bit. So the scores after the first round are as follows. Dev and QC tied at 7.5 and Manya at 7. As we head to the rebuttal stage, guys, good luck.
So I'm just going to get it out in the open now that I really did not like Nope. I thought, you know, it's one of those things where Jordan Peele, after his stunning debut with Get Out, you know, and then Us, which is a good film, but was underwhelming compared to Get Out, of course. And then Nope, I just felt was a lot of style and substance with not a lot behind it. You know, very similar to like Lady in the Water, where, you know, Jordan Peele had these great ideas, but in execution, it just was kind of boring. Like the first half of the movie, nothing really happens. And then like, you know, the whole main conceit of the film is really nothing really that original. And I just, again, walked out of the theater thinking to myself, wow, the expectations that this movie set with the trailers and all the hype, it just really didn't meet it for me.
I'll have to disagree because I think the first half is actually setting up the story and the atmosphere. Before diving into it, there's a lot to be covered and why they're discussing these topics and why they think there is something terrestrial in that area. And I think the whole lot of nothing is just them explaining and setting up the atmosphere and the story. So when things do happen in the end, you're not like, wait, that makes no sense, or where did that come from? So I have to disagree on that about the style and substance thing. I think it definitely has both, and they mesh together really well. I think it's style and substance, and it just looks gorgeous. It's an eye candy. I think we can all agree on that. But to me, the story was also something that kept me hooked, and I think that's what something with Us that fell apart, in my opinion, is the beginning was great, and then the story kind of fell apart at the end, while this one had a story that just, as it went on, it got stronger and stronger.
Okay, well, you just said it yourself. Nope is eye candy. It's an homage. It's a love letter to movies like Signs, The Close Encounters of a Third Kind. It is just that. It's something saying, I love this, but this isn't my hardest work. And something like Get Out, he had an amazing screenplay, and that's what carries the movie. It's an amazing screenplay, and he did enough to keep it afloat. Whereas I feel like Us is really where his craft came together. And it still is a movie that I can't compare Us to anything else. Nope is like a Signs, like a Close Encounter of a Third Kind. Get Out is very much, we've had those possession movies where body snatchers, even the opening sequence of the kid kidnapping the guy in the car in the beginning, that reminded me so much of the opening of It Follows. For me, Us is still one of the most unique movies, and it's something where I can't compare it to anything else.
I mean,
Yeah.
you say it's unique, but at the same time, he did give all his core characters 11 horror movies to watch just to get a better idea of what Us is going to be like. So yeah, it's original, but at the same time, it does have
Okay,
a
but
lot of
he
borrowed
also,
ideas.
okay, you can say the same exact thing for
I
Nope.
know,
He
I'm
had them
not
all along.
arguing that Nope isn't like that, but to say Us isn't like that at all, I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
But what movie is so similar to Us? He combined 11 movies. Every movie is a recreation of another one in some way, shape, or form. Us, it still stands out to the most, for me at least, and it has all characters are playing 2 roles very well. Whereas we've seen different actors do that before, but to have it on that big of a grand scale, and especially a third act that just completely says "fuck the world," like that one does, it breaks so many conventions, and it subverts expectations in every way, especially even in like the stereotype that the black person dies in the beginning of every horror movie. He flipped the script and had Elizabeth Moss and that whole family just get obliterated to fuck the police.
I think the strongest indicators of the film being successful to me are, do I want to go back and watch it again, right? I went back and watched Us recently. I enjoyed it. I really don't think I'm ever going to watch Nope again. I really just feel like the ideas in the screenplay are a lot stronger than what we actually experience. The movie itself, again, visually interesting, very competent. We all know Jordan Peele is extremely intelligent and knows what he's doing. But again, I just found the movie to be kind of boring, and I just don't think they covered any territory that felt really that original. And the quote unquote villain in the film was just kind of underwhelming to me. I just didn't really hit home. And really, the theater that I was sitting in, the chatter that I was hearing from people around me was very similar. That, wow, that was not as good as I thought it was going to be. I heard that from multiple people. So again, just it's a nope for me.
I actually thought Nope was going to have very divisive audience, that some people love it or some people hate it, no gray area. And I am actually not shocked to see that I'm hearing more positive reviews than negative. Of course, movies are subjective. We all feel differently about them. But I personally thought, again, it had me hooked. I thought the villain was actually very cool. And I would actually watch this again just to catch all the little things Jordan Peele has hidden in there. That's kind of how I felt about Us. I felt like there was a lot I missed the first time I watched it. And I definitely do think you might enjoy Nope better on a second watch. And I'm not just saying that for the sake of this. I do think you will enjoy it more on a second watch.
Yeah, it was definitely really close. Manya and Dev with the great interaction there. Their points about inspiration and what can be considered the most original movie out of the ones that they picked. So the scores have been tabulated, though. As of right now, the score is Dev at 14.9. QC falls behind at 14.7, and Manya in the lead at 15 as we head to the 1 minute closing arguments. We're going to head to QC first.
I established that, Get Out, top 10 film in the thriller horror genre. Manya agreed with me that it's one of her top 10 films, also one of my top 10 films. And I just think right now, when you think about the cultural zeitgeist as far as horror thriller films, really, when you ask anybody what some of the best films in recent memory and really of all time, Get Out is in that category. And Jordan Peele's films, when you add in Us to that group and now Nope, I think you'd be hard pressed to find anybody that's going to put Nope ahead of Get Out. And same thing with Us. Us is a very competently made film, and it definitely pulled from a lot of different other genres and comes together as a enjoyable film. But when you're really ranking Jordan Peele's 3 films, I think for the overwhelming majority of people, you're gonna Get Out, Us, and then Nope.
I know a lot of you guys said Nope was style over substance, but I think that's completely wrong. I think it's style and substance. Just because the genre is a little more broad, it's hard to come up with something quote unquote original, but I think this was as original as it can get. And again, it's beautiful, it's eye candy, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing or it neglects other parts of the stories. Again, the characters are very memorable. They're great characters. They had me laughing my butt off. And the opening scene, we all know Jordan Peele does great opening scenes, but this was one of my favorites, hands down. Again, it was a brutal one, and it kind of had me questioning, how does this tie into the rest of the movie? And that's actually one thing I liked about it too, the ambiguity of that opening scene and how it doesn't spoon feed everything to the audience. And you have to just kind of think about, what does this signify, or how does, again, this tie into the rest of the story? It is a slow burn compared to his other movies, but I don't think this makes it a boring movie, because it just builds up the story, builds up the atmosphere, and this was the first time in a Jordan Peele movie that I truly felt unsettled at a certain parts.
So when we're talking about what makes a good movie, there's so many components that go into it. Whereas I feel Get Out had a very strong script, but not the craft. Nope had the craft, but not the script. Us is that movie right in the middle, where he had the script and he had the craft, and it all came together perfectly. Nope, she just said it herself, that it's not the most engaging movie. It is one of his slower ones. Get Out is a lot of fun, but if you're talking about like cinematography and editing, I feel like Us is really where everything came together in a way that made a truly unsettling 2 hours and is something that I still am amazed watching multiple times over and over.
All three of you, again, had your ups and downs, but you've all three, one thing you all have in common is that your arguments have all evolved. You all understand your movies on a different level. Seems like you all are big Jordan Peele fans. That is for sure. But at the end of the day, we had one cumulative winner. And your winner, Manya!
Manya Mania running wild.
22.8 for Manya, 22.2 for QC, and 22.4 for the Conqueror. Manya, we were really impressed with your arguments, although we weren't huge on your opening, your rebuttals, and your closing showed a deep understanding of Nope, as well as an ability to adapt using outside evidence, which we love.
I was a little nervous at first. I think that's why my opening statement was a bit weak, but I just feel like I got more comfortable as time went on, and I was like, I'm sticking to my ground and defending this movie, not arguing for this, defending this movie, because I did genuinely like Nope, and I chose Nope over Get Out because I wanted to challenge myself, because Get Out is obviously a perfect movie. But yeah, that's why I chose Nope, and I'm glad I did, and thank you guys for this.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot worse ways to spend your afternoon than talking about, Jordan Peele's filmography and the great films that he's made. I think as far as doing things differently, I think I would have done a better job of conveying the cultural significance of Get Out and how, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I think people are still going to be talking about this film.
I found out the prompt as soon as I got on. I was a last minute call in, so I guess, having the ability to prepare, but I don't know. I feel like I got my argument and I ran with it, and I felt confident, but yeah, I was kind of backed into a little bit of a corner. Manya was the clear winner here.
I completely agree. And in the words of the anonymous judge, quote, Dev fucking did great. So Dev, for the situation you were in, because again, guys, for all you in the audience, Dev was a last minute call in, as you can see from the situation he's in right now. But for the no preparation that was involved, great job, sir. And thank you again. And to you, QC, as well. As always, a pleasure. Now, guys, thank you again for joining us. If this is your first time watching a CINEMAWARS episode, make sure you check out our other ones. And make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, follow the Critic Circle on Instagram, where you can see your favorite competitors and their thoughts on the newest movie releases. Thank you all for being here. Comment what did you think of the match, what did you think of Jordan Peele in general. And as always, ciao.